Chapter 3. All night long, until they had fallen asleep and brightened to their working pages, the Muses sat by the fire and worked in their sketchbooks. What do you think their observations were about? Me, I don't know myself, I wasn't there, but I can tell you that stylus pencils of this ilk are very loyal to their muses, and what they produce on paper cannot ever be seen by anyone else except that muse. Well, this happy scene would have indeed been happy, except for one thing. This contentedness and focus and purpose within the attic enraged Bacchus, and they attacked with more violent fervor, anger, and desire for revenge for the happiness that was taking place inside. She muttered to herself, the attic keeper did, "Go away, I'm working." As the muses slept soundly in a heap on the laundry pile by the fireplace. Attic keeper knew all about muses that lived and studied and had all their dramas in the school and dormitory rooms that lay out below her loft in the upper crevice of the Muse Academy building. Their noises and conversations came up through the vents to become a 24-hour background of gossip playlist for her. She held more than her share of the gossip and secrets that came up through the air vent and from the floors of creative drama going on below. Attic keeper knew them well. Somewhere in her distant past, she too had had a muse, a lovely and bright and full-cylinder muse who lifted the soles of her boots into exploration and topped off the tip of her head with imagination and settled her wide bum onto the chair to deliver that imagination onto the pages, the canvases, songs and plays and dances, and hard work with glorious hope for a promising future. But that was long ago and far away, and preserved deep inside of her. And as the attic keeper's mind wandered, the muses fatigued and began to dream of their plight. And they woke up. And here we are, sighed Bookie, stuck in a closed-down school. Nobody wants us, and we're scared of the storm outside. Attic keeper made a deep clearing of some vowel sound in her throat. I can plainly see that you're here, still. Foolish, foolish. You must face the facts as they are. There's nothing here for you or anyone. The Muse Academy is closed down. The bank foreclosed. There's no money to fund it. And there's no customer for the muses, no marketing, no overhead to keep the academy going, and there's no artists to adopt you. You knew that, so you should have gone, which is what you will do now. Go, leave it be. There is no more Muse Academy. But we haven't got anywhere to go, said Artie. We weren't adopted. No artist wants us, said Cookie. All the other muses were adopted, but not us. We got left behind, said Music as he woke up slowly. There's nowhere to go, said Techie, waking up and realizing the reality that lay before them. Attic keeper turned her head. She wore a pair of thick plastic sunglasses. Her one visible eyeball and the lens that was missing tried hard not to look interested. Storm the rescue cat rolled onto her back and stretched her forelegs out onto the air, battled at something invisible, yawned, and fell back to sleep, offering her great gift of ballast to the twitchy room. Why didn't you get adopted? There's plenty of artists out there who need a muse, said Attic keeper. We're just not smart enough, said Artie. No, we're too smart. No artist wants a too smart muse, said Techie. Might steal their thunder, said Music. No, it's not that, said Dance. We just aren't good enough. Face it, we don't make the cut. We're doomed to a life alone, and crusty and windy, just like the attic keep. Whoops! Bookie shut it as Storm snapped in with a flick of her furry tail. Attic keeper sighed sighed and slowly shook her head, took off her glasses and came over to the tiny little muses, scooped them up and put them on her desk next to the cat ballast in the room. Well, she said, if you're that smart, find a way to keep the academy going again. The vacuous outside heard that and raged and thundered against the window pane. Their voices could be heard, taunting the muses with glee, relishing every stinging sentence that they poured out and unleashed against that window pane. This is what they said. Come a little closer and I'll tell you exactly who you are. Wait, don't come closer. I can do this remotely just fine. You will bend to my will. You will not surpass us, be brighter or better or more successful than we are. You're guilty of something. What are you guilty of? I know it. I see it, I smell it, I sense it. You've done something horrible. You are something horrible. You will attract horribleness. Tell me and show me, and I will scourge it from you. You can't possibly have anything of value. You can't possibly be successful. We need you to be sick, frail, needy, and failing. Can you do that for us, please? Or do we need to force you to? Oh, and here's the number one rule. We haven't done anything wrong. It's you who are wrong for seeing it that way, or misunderstanding. If any way that points to us being wrong, you are the one in the wrong and should definitely be punished. Let's punish them now. They don't know what's good for them, so let's do it now. They'll never appreciate it, so why wait? You must not question these things. To do so would mean you are an unbeliever, an ingrate. Your faith is quivering, and you are so ungrateful and haughty and full of pride and wretched self-will and precariously tipping on the verge of self-esteem. Never go there. Never, never, never. The muses squealed in fear. Don't worry about them. Attic Keeper pointed her thumb towards the window. They're just upset that they haven't had an idea of their own in their entire lives. They want to suck it out of somebody else. Just ignore them. They can't break in if you don't open the window. The muses looked at her blankly, mouths hanging, partly open. They'll suck it all out of us? Attic Keeper said reassuringly, a kindness now coming over her slowly. Look, I know all about them, and trust me, they can't get you if you don't give them permission. There's 6 kinds of vacuous, and they're always there, even when they're not storming around. Just understand them, what they want and why, and then they're easier to ignore. Why are they what they are? Reflected ponderous Muse, taking notes on a post-it pad, speaking for the first time. They don't have selves like you or me. They're empty and don't know why or how, and somewhere along the way, they stopped caring enough to try and get one of their own. So they steal selves from others or control others to fake it like they have one of their own. There's 6 of them. There's the silent menacer, who hangs far back and tweaks the others to do his work for him. Then there's the bulldozer bully, who just stomps and demands to get her way. She's the one who's out there making the loudest pounding. And the shrilly shrieker is the one who pierces you with something invisible but terribly sharp, until you are paralyzed with fear and you don't see why. And then there's the musher, who just glomps on and merges into your cells and takes you over from the inside out. And oh, there's the creature who pronounces who you are from a lofty and high mighty position, and shames you for not agreeing or obeying. And by the way, there's no real way of agreeing or obeying. It's kind of a trap. But don't you agree? Nobody says who you are, only you. Okay? Lesson 1 for a muse. You get to say who you are, nobody else. And more or less, that's right there what scares away the vacuous. You're refusing. Attic-keeper put a new birch log on the fire, stoked it around, and made them a mug of cool-down cocoa with 4 little straws. The room fell silent except for the crackling warm fire and the slurping of the cocoa, and they all just sat there together, Muses, the cat, and the attic-keeper. And it was a good room to be in together. End of chapter 3.